Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to Painless Universal Conversation with myself and Welsh. Well, as you can see, I'm in a different background in a way, but I do hope you enjoy our conversation and listen to this amazing show, which topic today, which we have for you. My conversation is with amazing guest Tiya Shah. She's a final year international student who decided to move to the United Kingdom from India to pursue her higher education and grow as an independent individual. We'll be talking to her about what was it like living in India, and now that she's in the United Kingdom, how is she enjoying living here? What are some of the lessons she could share and inspire others to do the same? She's an entrepreneur with abilities to help and create. She started her not-for-profit organization at the tender age of 13 as a passionate environmentalist. And she grew this not-for-profit organization to make a statement on social and environmental changes in India through campaigns like the Beach Cleaning Drive. We'll be asking her about the pain she had to go to overcome that challenge and how she made this work. What's truly fascinating and what's really the reason we reached out to Tiya is that we want to understand the bullying aspect that she's experienced in life, how she dealt with that, and how she's overcome that pain. You know, when we go through bullying, there's lots of mental pain that's associated with that. We'll be asking her what that did to her and how she's managed to find her joy again. I'm so excited to talk to my enthusiastic student as she shares her story, as she shares her passion and her joy. Meet my amazing guest, Tiya, as she shares her journey. Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to Painless Universal Conversation with myself and Welsh. Today's conversation is really overcoming challenges and pain of bullying. Have you been a victim of bullying? Has that affected the way you see the world today? My guest, Tiya Shah, will just be telling you about her own journey and why she believes now is the best time to speak about it and let people know that it's not good enough to keep that bad behavior. Tiya, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm absolutely delighted. A totally new setup here, but
Yeah,
we're getting used to it. We love to keep our work going, even though we're away. And I'm
yeah,
super delighted. I know you've taken that time out of your busy schedule to speak to me today. And when anyone looks at your bio, they'll just understand the reason why we had to talk because of your background. It's just very similar to mine in terms of you doing the masters at my current university, and I'm super proud of you for achieving that. But before we get started, who are you?
So, to be generic, I'm a student studying in London from India. I'm an international student. I'm studying business. And to dig deeper into who I really am, I think I'm a lot of things. But firstly, I love people. I'm a people's person. I'm a very talkative person. So I can keep going on and on and on. And you'll see that soon. And yeah, and I also I'm when it comes to my work, I'm sort of an achiever, like a doer. So if I know that I want to do something, get something done, no matter how much the risk is, I want to just go for it, take the risk and get my work done. And I'm also a passionate explorer. I travel a lot. Recently I traveled 7 countries within 3 months, so that too during university, so I managed to do that, so that was great. So I really love exploring new places and sort of understand different cultures and live through them for a bit.
That's one.
And yeah, and I'm also an enthusiastic public speaker, so I've given TED talks, and I love speaking. Even in school, whenever there was an opportunity, I was up for like going and public speaking and just like talking to others, because I'm a people's person and I love like addressing a big crowd and just sharing any story that I have. And yeah, lastly, I think I'm definitely now an independent woman growing into someone who is a very independent thinker, coming from a place where I was very sheltered and dependent on others to now, like after I moved to London, I feel like I've grown to be a very independent person.
But I really am proud of you because that's a big move actually to move and make that decision to leave your family behind and come out to the United Kingdom and start doing a master's. I mean, that is courageous of you. I'm so glad you did that. You know, going back to your background growing up, what was it like growing up in India?
Growing up in India was great. I mean, I come from a very big family. So I have two siblings of my own, and then I have my father has like three other siblings, and then so many cousins. So I come from a big family. So I've always grown up around people, and just our house has always been full. Like even currently, I'm sitting here, half of my family's sitting outside and talking. So I've always been around people, and I've been the pampered child. And I was, yeah, I was always basically I always got, I was lucky to have everything like on my plate. Anytime I needed anything, like there were 100 people to like get that done for me and stuff. So I was very fortunate when it came to that. And yeah, but there are also like downsides towards it. I grew up in a strict disciplined environment. So sometimes, even though there's so many people and like so many things to do, and some like everything, something is happening at all times, sometimes you just feel lost because there are so many, that the different people with different problems who like, and people perceive like others problems to be like bigger than mine because I'm just the child in the family. So it got hard, in sometimes it gets hard to be lost in the crowd and not having someone to share your feelings with. So sometimes there were lows as well, but otherwise just grown up super happy with a big family, celebrating all the Indian festivals together. And just like I had a happy childhood, except like some parts obviously it gets tough for everyone, but other than that, this was like my childhood growing up around people, which is why I love people. Like I love being around people. I cannot be alone.
If I ask you, when you think about you're now living in the United Kingdom, and for someone who hasn't visited India, what will be your selling point or why someone should go visit the country?
Why you should visit India?
Of course.
I think you should visit India because I think it's such a cultural country. Like you come here, there's so much culture, there's so many festivals. You come any month, there'll be some big festival happening, and you'll see a lot of colors, you'll see a lot of light. And I think that's what's amazing about India. Like there's always something or the other happening. You'll see everyone, even though we don't know each other, we'll all be celebrating on the streets together. So I would definitely say come to India, but come during like the season of festivals. And I think that's something worth seeing for sure.
Oh, that's amazing. Because I mean, it's always nice when we talk to people around the world for them to talk a little bit about where they come from, where they live, used to live, and talk about why people should visit those countries. Because we've heard, I especially live in the United Kingdom, you see there's a huge Indian population, but one of the things we don't always talk about is the joys of India itself and why it's so important that people actually make time to explore the place and go visit. So now you're living and now you're doing your masters in
I'm
United.
doing my undergrad in London, not my master. Yeah.
Right, so now you're doing your undergrad. Can you just tell us a little bit about the experiences? Because this is a journey a lot of people are very reluctant to take. I mean, I know I didn't, when I was living in doing my university, I didn't even want to live home. I was just going from home to university. And there you are, you're taking a big distance. Can you tell us about the journey for anyone who's thinking about doing something like this? What would be your advice to that person? And what are some of the lessons and joys you've learned along the way?
The joy of living in London.
Yeah, the joy of taking that risk of coming out here, and what were some of the challenges you faced coming out here?
I think definitely for the challenge part, again, like how I said, like I've always come around, like been around people, and then going to a country where I know nobody at all alone, that was one of the biggest challenges. That like there were so many weeks where I felt alone because of my other, like whoever friends like that I made, like whatever friends that I made, they were busy because we were all in different universities. So I remember they had this one hard week where I was just home and I was crying. I'm like, Mom, I want to come back, I'm feeling lonely, I need my family around. So I think that was one of the challenges. And I think another big challenge for me was that because I came from such a fortunate background, having like everything done for me, like my mom, my sister, everyone just like solving all my problems, and then I'm here in a completely different continent, not even country, and I'm sitting there without, like, I don't know, I have to solve every problem for myself, like electricity, water. There was a day when the water supply in my house was cut for an entire day, and I had to figure that out on my own. So like understanding that in a completely different place obviously gets really hard, but at the same time I think the joy part of it makes up for it, because London is a beautiful city. Everyone knows it. I think I've lived there for a year and I've not even like seen the entire city because it's so big, and there's always like, if you go to one part, you just spend the rest of the day there because like it's so lovely to be like wherever you go. So I think that is great. And I think the independence that I get there, over here, like I came from a strict background, so I had like deadlines to come back home at this time, you do this, tell me where you're going. And over there I'm just like, okay, I'm bored, I'm gonna go for a walk. I don't need to answer anyone, like I don't need to be questioned by anyone. So I think like going out there and just like being on my own, having a lot of me time, and yeah, just like living life with random people and making new friends and new relations, I think that was really wonderful for me.
That's wonderful. I thank you so much for sharing that. So you've talked about the MPO, which you have to describe what that means, and how did you use the MPO to make a societal and environmental change in India through campaigns like the beach cleaning drive? I think that is so essential right now because a lot of people go out to the beaches, they love it, it's really nice. One of the things we tend to forget about is that the way you look after your home, if you maintain that, then when you come back tomorrow, you'll have a clean place to go to. But a lot of people don't have that mentality. They go to a place, they leave it messy, hoping that tomorrow your magic could disappear. But you are now working so much on that. Tell me what you're doing in India, what you did.
Yeah, so basically, to answer your first question, what NPO means, NPO is a non-profit organization. So basically, we're not driven by profits, we're more like goal oriented. So it's everything we do is for a cause and to reach a certain goal. So the non-profit organization that I started at the age of 13 actually was India Takes a Step, because I wanted the whole country to take a step with me. So I thought of the name India Takes a Step. And I think the idea behind starting that was because there was a lot of pain. There still is, but I'm sure it has reduced. I can see it. There's a lot of pain in India that is unaddressed when it comes to like cleanliness or like poverty sometimes. And I'm someone who was really like affected when I saw all of that. And I don't know if a lot of people, like a lot, everyone gets affected, but people don't really want to do much about it. Like they talk about it and they're like, okay, this is a problem, but they don't do anything about it. And as I said, I'm a doer. And once like I have an idea in my head, I need to go for it. I was 13 and I remember it was lunch break in my school, and my friends and I were sitting in a circle and we were talking about this, and they were listing things that are wrong in India, like the cleanliness, poverty, and things we should be doing. So I was like, let's just do it. Why are we just talking about it? And they said, yes, let's do it, whatever. But I knew that they won't really do it. We just like, we talk about it, then we forget about it. But I remember I went home and I made a group with like 5 friends. And what we did is just 6 of us, including me, five, including 6, including me, we went to the beach at 6 a.m. in the morning, and we just started picking up waste. So the beach was really dirty back in 2016 when I started, and I was seeing that no one was really doing anything to help it. So we decided that before school hours, we wake up at 6 a.m., go to the beach, clean it while no one is at the beach. And we went to a section of the beach and we cleaned it. And while we were doing that, we got lucky that one of the most renowned actors in India, his name is Mr. Anupam Kher. He was there for his morning jog and he saw us do that. And he's really popular on Twitter. So he saw that and he approached us and he asked, can I do a little interview with y'all? So we were like, sure, like go ahead. And he literally recorded us saying, talking about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And I answered saying that I get bothered when like people from abroad come into India, or even Indians themselves complain about things that are wrong in India, and I want to do something about it. I said that, and he actually posted that on his Twitter, and a lot of people viewed that, and that's how like we started taking it more seriously, and then we grew from 5 members to 80 members. So I delivered like a speech in my school about this whole situation, and I gathered more members, and I said we have a festival called Ganesh Chaturthi in India in September. So what they do is Lord Ganesha, they now they've started making eco-friendly idols of him, but earlier they used to make idols of him with pop, which is plaster of paris. So like it's a material which is harmful to the sea. So basically what they do is they keep the idol at home for like a day or 10 days, and after you do all the rituals with the idol, you have to go and sort of, I wouldn't say drown him, but like let the idol sink into the sea,
Oh,
and that used to contaminate the sea a lot. So, and that caused a lot of water pollution, and like the biodiversity, everything was getting ruined by it. But now it's improved, obviously, because there are eco-friendly idols and people just do it in a bathtub at home. But that time it was a big problem. So I addressed a speech on that, and I collected 80 members to go to the day after the ritual is done. It's called Ganesh Visarjan. So it's up. So we went there, and basically all the idols were like into pieces, and they came back to land and just contaminated the beach more. So 80 of us went, we picked up every piece that we saw, and like we like cleaned the beach, and that was the start of us. And then later we went on food distribution drives around Mumbai to distribute it to the underprivileged. And then we now we're going to help with bullying. So it's just a journey.
and the bullying thing, you talk about that as well. And I'm going to say congratulations on the environmental. And I think, I hope you get more and more people endorsing this cause, because we need to keep our environment safe. We need to keep it clean. We need people to appreciate it. And I think what you're doing is also showing people that it can be done. We just need to come together and do a collective effort. And that leads me to my question of bullying, because you also raise awareness about it. You talk very passionate about being a victim of bullying. Can you share with us what you mean by where or how did this impact you?
Yeah, so I did have a downfall in like my school life when I was 14. I was I don't know, I started getting bullied by people. I don't know why, because I didn't do anything wrong to anyone, but just like everyone has that phase in their life, and I was getting bullied, and I was not sure why, which is why it was impacting me, affecting me more. So I don't think I did much at the time about it. I didn't react the way I would react now, for sure. But at the time, as a 14-year-old, obviously I was confused and I was hurt. So I all I did was cry it out, because I didn't have anyone by my side that time to even support me. And you have like that mindset sometimes, like, okay, if someone stands up for me, maybe I'll stand up for myself. But like I didn't even have that, because even my best of friends were turned against me at that point by the bullies. So it was horrible. I mean, I didn't think there was a choice. I had anxiety attacks in the middle of a class, so I had to tell the professor that I need to go to the washroom, and I used to run and just lock myself in the school bathroom and just cry, because I could not sit in the same class as the people who are bullying me or trying to like put me down. I wasn't that academically smart back then, because all of this was affecting me, so my grades weren't doing that well. And I was told in front of everyone that if slow people like you, like they literally said, you slow people like you work like more hard, then maybe you can beat fast people like us. And then I was like, what are you saying? And I was really hurt. So which is why like I was so demotivated. So at the time, I don't think I could do anything. And what was worse, that I couldn't talk to anyone about it, because earlier there was this negative notion behind like mental health and talking about it in India, I think, which is now it's getting better. So it was really hard for us to approach anyone. I couldn't even approach my own family, because I was scared how they would react. Obviously later when they found out, they reacted really well. I'm really thankful for that. But I was scared to ask for help, and I knew I needed it, but I didn't take any help, and I regret that today. But I naturally came out of it. I think it died down after a bit, and everyone was like, okay, let's move on to the next person. And then they caught someone else and then did the same thing to them. And I feel horrible for that it continued and it didn't stop. But for me, I regret that I couldn't do anything except cry and like get through that phase through just
Yeah.
just going along with it.
But when you think about it, because this is something that's going on, a lot of people now face that bullying thing, and they find it difficult to communicate. When you look back at it, what messages would you give to those people that bullied you, and why it's very important that we should not encourage bullies?
The message that I would give to my bullies,
Yes.
um, I mean, they know who they are if they're watching this, but I think I'm not going to say anything bad to them because we were small and maybe they were also trying to figure out who they were. But I can just say thank you for making me a stronger person, because if I didn't have that phase in my life, I don't think I would be so headstrong and just such a strong personality today. And yeah, like my friends call me like the fighter of the group. Like anyone messes with me, I'm like up for the fight, and I wasn't this earlier. So I think that phase of my life and my bullies gave me that side of my personality, so I'm glad for that. But I wish you had reacted differently and been different. But to see it positively, thank you for making me a stronger person.
And that's really honored. I love your message today, and that was so kind, so sweet. You're not trying to say, "Oh gosh, I hope something else happens to you." You're trying to encourage them, say, "Look, you made me stronger. You made me the person I am today, and that person who now has a voice for others." So, you talk about your not-for-profit organization to support the mental health awareness and prevent bullies in the future. Can you tell me a little bit about what your not-for-profit organization does to help in that process?
Yeah, so I have a vision to expand my non-profit organization to not just things for the environment, but also like to do something about this as well, because I think this is a big problem that's not spoken about, at least in India. I think so. So what I want to do in the future, this is my vision. I'm going to start working on it this year as well. I want to create a community of survivors and like current victims, so that sometimes people who are bullied, they're put in a place to talk to a professional, but maybe sometimes a professional does not understand exactly what's going on in their mind, because maybe they haven't ever been in that situation. I think a survivor is the right person who can help the victim out. So I want to create a community of survivors like me with current students or anybody who's going through that, so that we can talk to them, we can do like monthly meetups and discuss our life, and maybe people like me can help them out by just talking to them. I think talking is the best thing to do, because once you ask them one question, I think like everything just pours out naturally. So I think that definitely want to do that, create like a group, a community of these people, and then the community can keep growing, and I think it can help a lot of people. I would want that personally. If I look back, I would definitely want something like this to exist, and I would join it.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to do.
And it's true, because when you look back, you always ask yourself, what would have been better if, when this was going happening to me, what would have been better to make it stop or make me, deal with this much easier, help my mental health? Because what people forget and what people realize, that the impact of bullying has a big impact on people's mental health. It tells your mind that you think you're the problem, and it also impacts your things, the way you deal with issues. You don't even want to go out anymore because you're thinking, oh, these people are going to be there, they're going to be laughing at me. So I'm so in support of you thinking of something that, where people who have actually been in that pain could actually connect with other people who might be going through similar issues. You are you are very much into this beauty space, and it's something that's so fascinating about yourself. You're studying entrepreneurship in your undergraduate, one of the things you're studying, and you talk so much about beauty, that this is where you want to go, this is the direction you believe that you want to lead on. What does beauty mean to you?
Beauty, it means a lot to me, many things, but I think to put it in simple words, for me, beauty, for like that, I think beauty should be for everyone, is that uniqueness that you find in yourself in a world where you just feel common. So because everyone has something beautiful about them, and I think finding that one thing and just enhancing that with like makeup or anything like that, playing around with that, and just to make yourself feel confident. Like for me, like today I went up, and for beauty I mean like makeup, skincare, anything you want to do. Today I went for a facial, and after I came back I've just stared at myself in the mirror for like 10 minutes. I'm like, wow, I'm glowing, and like, that confidence. So I think beauty for me is confidence and uniqueness, and I just, it just makes me happy. And I think I started off because like of insecurities, and like it just like disappears my insecurities, and I feel like a different person who is capable of so much. And yeah, just like brings out the strong me.
So in terms of entrepreneurship, what would you like to do in terms of beauty? Where is your direction taking you?
So currently I just started a beauty blog, and I'm trying to grow that, and just be an independent social media influencer maybe in the future. Not like to currently have just like 100 followers or something, but in the future I do want to like be a beauty blogger who can potentially later start my own line to bring my entrepreneurial skill set into it. But before I get there in the future, I definitely want to work with different beauty brands and understand what they stand for, and what they think beauty is for them, and understand like different perspectives on what can be done in the industry to reach the next step. And I want to help them reach the next step.
Tia, I have to congratulate you. You're student ambassador for your university. I have to ask you, for someone who might not know, what is being a student ambassador to your university?
A student ambassador is basically they appoint students, current students, to sort of, I think for me it's like guiding other like prospective students who are going to come in, guiding them, giving them sort of comfort, showing them how my life is in university, sharing my experiences with them, so that they are more at ease and not lost or confused, and they're certain about what decision they're making. And I make sure that they make the right choice by choosing whichever university they want to go to. But I stand for my university, which is the one we share, Base Business School, City University of London. So yeah, so through the student ambassador scheme, I post videos on the university's page, just showing my life, a day in my life, or just any sort of a content. I recently wrote a blog on why I chose to study in this university. So it's sort of like a guidance to prospective students so that they have a sense of direction.
Yeah. This is a long question I have to ask, because this is a quote which I got from you. You said, after passing through my tough teenage years, entering adulthood, I'm only able to discover who I truly am and what aspirations are left within my comfort zone. My country, home, family, and friends, to settle in a different continent by myself and pursue purpose through challenges. And I love that word, finding your purpose through your challenges I face in the process of change. How have you found courage to leave your comfort zone?
That's a great question actually, because it's not easy to get there, to like make such decisions where you have to leave the comfort zone. It takes a lot of thinking to do, and a lot of preparation to do. So I think once you have like the mindset that you want to like do something in your life and reach a certain goal, you have to go out there and explore different things that may work out for you, may not work out for you. I mean, to even understand what your strength is, you need to try 100 different things to understand what you're best at. So the other 99 things that you do except the one you're best at is you basically going out of your comfort zone, right? So I think you just need to like push yourself, push your limits, and once you have it set in your head that this is my goal, this is where I want to reach, and I don't think anything can stop you. You yourself will do whatever it is to take it. um, and that was for me. I knew I wanted to be independent, I have a life of my own and build my own journey. So I was like, okay, I have to do it, I have to move. If I stay sheltered in a place where I'm so comfortable, I don't think I'll ever be able to come out as that person I want to be. So the best thing to do was move away, like this, like go through my own challenges, ups, downs, whatever it is, and in the end just come out as the person that I wanted to be.
How has this new finding your comfort zone brought you so much joy? How has this helped you?
I think it has helped me a lot because, as I mentioned before, like going there and I feel this sense of belonging. Like I create this own sense of belonging for myself, And I'm so happy to be where, like, in London right now, and just building, making my own memories, experiences, and just, it's a journey, just learning different things, learning different cultures, because I'm someone who loves exploring, learning new things. I think I'm learning a lot over there. And yeah, just a lot of, I think the experiences is what just brought me a lot of joy. And I think I've been successful in moving out of my comfort zone, because now I'm just so settled. Like, London has become my comfort zone as well, it's become my second home.
Yeah.
So it takes time, but it definitely, one, the joy you feel once you get there is, you can't compare to anything else.
Finally, before I let you go, tell me about, you've moved to London, you're running a not-for-profit organization helping the climate, especially in India. What next for you?
What is next for me is definitely uh, going ahead with the bully community part that I spoke about with my NPO for sure. I want to start working on that this year itself, along with, I'm going to graduate next year. So I need to plan my life already. So I have a lot of pressure on that. But I think what's next for me is finishing my education and just finding myself in the corporate world. I think I found myself already in the this side of the world, but now it's time to step into the real world, make new experiences, learn new things, go through another set of challenges, and come out with a lot of joy. So what's next for me is just to step into that world and find myself over there as well, and find the corporate Tia and who I'm going to be as a businesswoman.
Oh, Tia, thank you so much. I really appreciate talking to you. I've learned so much, and I mean, you've got wealth of knowledge ahead of you. And I think anyone who listens to this conversation would really appreciate what you're doing for the environment, and your messages to the bully about how it impacts our mental health and what we can do to overcome those challenges we might have faced. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Welcome. Thank you.